2:30.
Okay, if anybody can answer, where's Aidan's chi right now? He's in England, and the sun is it 2:30? So where is his chi?
He's here.
What I do? Not ki, chi.
Oh, chi.
My American accent.
Oh, so funny.
Nobody knows. Okay,
Morning, Tim.
no one has their geometer handy.
Let me see.
So it's between 1 o'clock and 2 o'clock there. Yes.
Yeah, it's 2:30 done.
2:30. Okay. Well, you're still in your small intestine.
I haven't had breakfast yet.
All right. Well, good. Quadriceps and abdominals are where the muscles that have the most chi right now, which means you can squat down easy. Quadriceps, yeah.
All right.
Yeah, or if you lay down, you can sit up easy. You have chi there.
Maybe you could try that for us now, Aidan.
What's that again?
Maybe you could try that for us now.
Yeah, I just did. Didn't you see me?
No.
No.
I missed it.
I don't want to lose the picture on the iPad, so I'll have to set it up like there now.
You look good. Could use a little light on your face.
Somewhat.
It's more light on your face.
All right.
Hey, that's it.
Oh,
Just open the door.
I opened the door. Yeah.
Oh, very good.
So you can see all the beautiful shells here. I've got them marked here. You see there's a name here. You might see those, but I can move the iPad. Yeah.
Are these all waiting to find a home?
Yes, they are. The largest one I've got in here is the Australian Syrinx, which is this one.
Wow. That's a beauty.
But I have also a fairly good size helmet, conch.
Well, you might mention which ocean they come from.
Well, you know, they're scattered all over the different oceans. Some of the... are we online now?
Yeah.
We are.
Oh, okay. I say hi to everybody.
Let's say hello to everybody. Let's unmute everyone.
Yeah.
Hey,
Hello,
morning,
Aidan.
everybody.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, Tim.
Hey.
Hello. Good to see you. Good to see you.
Hey.
Great to see you. Welcome.
So,
Hi.
Hello.
Welcome to my
Cassie.
conch shed. Hi, Cardio. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you.
yeah. Oh, wow. 41
Don't
of
know.
us online today.
Everybody's name. Hi, Alice. Hello.
Cassie. Hi, Cassie.
Venus. Cassie. Ciao.
Sure. Oh, it's lovely.
Hi, Ines.
Adelaide, Julie.
Hello.
Oh, Michelle.
Hello.
Oh, cool.
Good.
All right. So, welcome, everybody. Let's make a start.
Ciao, ciao. Sorry, ciao, ciao. Ciao.
Ciao.
Oh, Lucia.
Ciao.
Yeah.
Sorry, I will stay muted because I have the children, so otherwise they disrupted the sound. And I might put the camera off. Ciao, ciao.
Ciao.
Ciao. Ciao, Aidan.
Ciao.
Ciao.
Okay, we're going to mute everybody now, just for a second.
Is it anyone from Denmark?
Yes.
Oh, hi, Ida.
Hi.
Nice to see you.
Hi, Ida. Hi. Hi, Debbie.
Oh, Debbie.
Hi, Aidan.
So, greetings. Good to see everybody. Everybody looks really happy and handling the situation.
And Geordie
Okay.
Land.
And Jill, hello.
Old friend with me here.
Chi c'è?
Conch.
Chi stiamo?
Okay. So we've muted everybody, just so
Okay.
we can do the introductions, Aidan, and get moving.
Okay.
So, welcome everybody to the Gong Chat. I think we're in number. What number is this? Number 4, number 5? Yeah, yeah. And today we have Aidan with us, and yeah, welcome Aidan. And,
Thank you.
And as you
Good
can
to see
see,
everybody.
yeah, and Don's with us. Hi Don, where's Don? Because I've got my little screen on. I can't. There he is. So, if there's anybody new to the format, basically we're going to chat about all things Gong, and we've got Aidan who's going to talk to us about a specific area of sound work, sound healing, sound therapy, and he's going to talk to us about conchs as well as other things. But we're going to kind of look at Aidan's huge conch collection that he's got there in the background as well. We start normally with the universal agreement, the universal greeting, and I thought today it would be lovely if a member, one of the people who are online with us, led us through, Don. What do you think?
Yes, good. That would be really nice.
So I'm thinking Claudio's been around a little bit, and I'm hoping, Claudio, you would be able to take us through the universal greeting. Would you be happy to do that?
Sure, yeah, with pleasure.
Awesome. So if we'd all join in with Claudio, let's do the universal greeting together, universal agreement.
Am I unmuted?
Yeah, you're unmuted.
All right, great. So great to see you all. So let's start. I offer you peace.
I offer you peace.
I offer you friendship.
I offer you friendship.
I offer you love.
I offer you love.
I hear your needs.
I hear your needs.
I see your beauty.
Oh, okay. I see your beauty.
I feel your feelings.
I feel your feelings.
All wisdom flows from a higher source.
Wisdom flows from a higher source.
I honor that source in you.
I honor that source in you.
Let us work together.
Let us work together.
Because you are my own true self.
You are my own true self.
And I am another yourself.
I am another yourself.
Together we are one.
And together
we are one.
We are one.
One heart?
Yeah, one heart.
One heart?
So be it.
So be it.
Everybody forgets woohoo at the end, but it's
Oh, woohoo, okay.
silent woohoo.
Oh, that's lovely. Thank you, Claudio. That
Thank
was
you.
perfect. That
Thank
was
you so much.
perfect.
Well done.
Yeah. So, Don, it's nice if you just share a little thought with us this morning about what's going on for you and where we are. And
well, this is exciting. I think every day I'm beginning to learn how to talk to the camera better. But if I look away, it's because I haven't learned how to do it quite right yet. Aidan is you know, I'll call him our oldest student, but it's not because of his age. He's much younger than I am. But I think I cannot remember when was the first time that I met Aidan, and I thought he might at least share so that people know that this happened. Where was it, Aidan? Up on the mountain, volcano.
It was in Mount Shasta, on the edge of Lake Siskiyou, and you were doing gong baths and lectures in the forest.
Yes.
And it was a festival.
And the people there that were running it were from Lemuria.
That's right. They were from. They were aliens from
Under
the
the volcano down.
star system.
Yeah. And how did they talk?
And they looked like elves from the Lord of the Rings. I remember.
And they all talk like this. Let's see. Hello, my name is Donald. Everybody talked like that. It was amazing.
Yeah, and Don was doing what would you call it? A taster session in the middle of the woods with a bunch of people lying down on straw, and he was playing his 28-inch trusty symphonic gong at the time.
Wow.
And you were lying there next to your with your dog.
Well, I did bring my dog. I brought a hammock, and me and my girlfriend were chilling out in the hammock, and the dog was asleep underneath. And at this moment in time, I heard a gong. I didn't know it was a gong, and I thought, I'm going to investigate. So that's what I did. I walked over and sat underneath the tree, and you came and gonged the living daylights out of me.
What year was that?
1993.
93. Wow.
The Ascension celebration.
You know, and I believe around 91 and 92, 93, I really began to travel around the world, and Aidan came with.
That's right.
He lived in England. He was born in
At
England.
that time, I was in San Francisco in 93.
Yeah, and so we tricked him into coming back to England.
Ultimately, yes, you did.
And he never left since, except he travels around the world.
Well, I used to come over every year. We did the Mind, Body, Spirit festivals and some workshops, Grimstone Manor, Gaunt's House, and we have been friends since, I guess, 93, 94.
Yeah. Well, he's been just a wonderful, wonderful fellow for these many years. He's helped so many people, and it kept him out of a lot of trouble, because if he hadn't begun to play the gong and blow the conch, he'd probably be somewhere in a Muslim prison.
I'd probably be in a shotgun shack somewhere in the middle of nowhere. Who knows?
But we are blessed to have you, and you're going to share with us this amazing information that he has about the conchs. By the way, I got that on my computer, all about the conchs today. You sent that to me?
Yeah, it's an amazing book. It's called The Conch Horn, the Conch Horn, yeah. And it's available in a PDF, which I sent to Yael, and she can share it here on the Zoom to anybody
What a
who
work.
wants it.
Yeah, amazing.
It's a very scholarly work.
Yeah.
It's not easy reading, because there's a lot of references to the first conchs that were found 3,000 years ago, where you can see them, where the museum is, what kind they are, what they believe they were used for, and it's a really good read if you're interested in these amazing transformational instruments, the conch shell. Yeah.
So
I hope Yael can share that PDF with everybody.
lovely, thank you, Aidan.
Okay.
Oh, she shared it already. Aidan, of course, on the Gongmaster trainings, working with the conchs is it's a decent part of the training.
It's very important. That's why I collect so many. It takes me 10 months to collect the shells you see here, and I bring them to the trainings to share with everybody.
So why is that, Aidan? What is it about the conch that makes it such an integral part of a kind of gong mastery, or part of the life?
I think it's the obvious primordial sound. It must have been one of the first instruments of humankind, the conch shell. It goes back centuries and centuries, thousands of years, in fact. And it's used in many different cultures for many different reasons. Some of the cultures just use them to announce, for example, in England here, when the wind is in the right direction and it's time to grind the corn, they would blow the conch shell and the farmers would hear it and they'd bring their bags of wheat to the mill to be ground down. So it was a way of communicating across great distances. As well, when the fishermen came into the harbor and they had the fish on the boat, they would blow the conch and people would come to the harbor to buy the fish. So it's a communication, it's your first, way of communicating across great distances. It's also used in ceremony. The Indian chunka, which I have here, this type, this is a small chunka, it's from India. It's very sacred for the Tibetans, the shell. It's one of the most sacred things. And you often see it covered in turquoise. Don, you have one covered in turquoise, if I remember rightly.
No, I never play it because it's so heavy.
Yeah, these are the heaviest of all the conch shells. It's very, very heavy. So, we use it. Well, first, the idea is to get people to play it. And that sometimes is a little struggle. But it's fairly simple if you follow the simple instructions. People struggle with it. But the main...
I wonder how many people out there are blowing conchs that are in the audience right now.
I don't know.
Well, Bob does. Do you not, Bob?
Every sound therapist should have a conch shell in their medicine bag.
Who brought their conchs today?
Ours are down at the studio.
Well, it'd be nice if you could blow the conch with Aidan when he blows his conch. You'll see that it carries right through the television, right through everything. It delivers its sound through a magical means.
First, you make this sound. After that sound, you can make that sound with your lips closed and the noise coming out. Then you put the noise inside the shell. It's not blowing the shell, it's putting that sound inside the shell.
Well said.
So that's the main tip I could give everybody. First, make the sound, and then put the sound inside the shell.
Lovely. Maybe. Okay, Claudio's got his there. Give us a blow on yours, Claudio. I'm trying to unmute you. It's not working. Okay.
How many conchs do we have?
Let's see.
Got mine too, Don.
One, I don't have
Claudio's
one.
blowing a helmet conch. That's
Nice.
a helmet conch.
This is the one I'm putting the gong.
That was
helmet conch, Claudio.
That was
And Jill is blowing a horse conch.
Hi.
Oh,
Yes.
Blow for us, Alessandro. Let's hear yours.
look at that.
Wow.
Oh, yes. Let's see it. That's a horse conch. The horse conch. Very nice.
Wow.
Very
And
nice.
What's Jill got there, Aidan?
She's got a horse conch also. She got that from me, a
I
big
can
one.
see that. Nice.
I only have one horse conch here, which is this one. Oh no, that's not it. No, I don't have a horse conch here. They're harder to find in this country. You can get them easily in America.
Yeah. Wow. They're a big solid conch, aren't they?
Very
Nice and
heavy, very, very heavy. That's why we don't have any. It's too expensive to buy one in America and have it come over here. I'm surprised I don't have a horse conch. I have, this is a type of horse conch. This one here.
Okay.
That's what they look like.
So, Aidan, what would be great maybe is if you could just give us a little introduction to the different shells.
Okay, so as this is the horse conch, I've got a selection of small shells here to show you. Now, the thing about the shell is, even the small shell looks exactly the same as the big shell. And you often can't tell how big it is unless it's measured. So this is the horse conch, but it comes up to 18 inches or 37 centimeters. It's very large. You can get it very large. This is an unusual shell, but it's blowable. It's called the spider. The spider shell. And I have one example. Let me see. Here, this one. Well, this is very huge. It's very huge. And to cut this, you have to cut it here, and you have to lose these two spikes because you have to cut it straight down. That's the spider. And then, like Claudio's, we've got the helmet conch, which is this one, or these ones up here. And this is also called the bull mouth here conch. And so that's the helmet. Here's another helmet. They come in different types, but it has this.
You haven't cut these yet, Aidan. These are the raw shell.
These are all ready to go. Yeah, these are all ready to be cut. Then there's this one, which is very nice, a frog, the frog conch, and that's very knobbly all over. Yeah. Here's a larger one. This is the frog. This is a lovely looking shell. It has that beautiful color inside. So that's the frog. Then you've got, of course, this little guy. You know what this is?
Well, maybe try and tell us where these are from as well, Aidan. What country, if you know, or ocean and things.
You have some of them are very thick. They're from the Atlantic. The colder oceans are the thicker shells. The thin ones, like, for example...
The syrinx, the Australian ones.
This is very thin. I don't know whether you can see the light through it. This is a Triton Trumpet from the Pacific. This could be from Hawaii, or it could be also from... the Philippines, but you don't always know exactly. They always look the same. I have a shell here from 1854. Apparently, it's from a collection of and you wouldn't know the difference between that shell and any of the others. They all look the same. Yeah. The Australian syrinx, these three here. This is also this is a little syrinx, but this is the largest gastropod in the world. There's a larger one here. This is the largest gastropod from Australia, and it grows up to 24 inches, 30 inches long. Wow. It's massive. But there are the most common of... Yes.
Show us the big syrinx, the big one at the top there.
In the second half, after the intermission, I go upstairs. It's upstairs.
Oh, wow.
This is the most common shell here that you find in charity shops. Right. You know, this is called a queen conch, and they come in lots of different sizes. Mainly, you maybe recognize it. It's pink inside. Yeah. It's got the knobbles on the outside. This is cut to blow. Yeah. Even though it's the most common shell, it's also one of the loudest. It's a really good shell, and you'll find that all over England. Often people went away on a holiday and brought their mother a shell back, and it sits on the bathroom shelf, you know. And this is the most common shell you see like that. Wow. One of the most wonderful things about a shell is that oftentimes they sit on a granny's bathroom shelf for decades, and then time passes, and maybe granny passes away, and the shells are disseminated in various ways in eBay and in charity shops. And then I take it and cut the end off the shell, and suddenly this beautiful thing that has been an ornament all its life, except for in the ocean, of course, and people eat the conch as well, becomes an instrument, becomes a musical instrument. So it's I love to do to cut the shells and discover what instrument, what sound they have. And usually I put the note on here.
Oh, so you pitch it.
I pitch it. This one is G sharp.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a loud sound, isn't it? Oh, that's because there's a hole in it here. This one, I have to cover the hole. So I cover the hole. Now you can drill a hole in the outside of the shell here on this part of the shell, and it can actually change the pitch of the shell when you press when you cover the hole.
Wow. Wow.
What other shells? Oh, the Triton Trumpet, one of the most beautiful shells. This is from the Pacific. You can see straight through it. You see it's very thin. It's a lovely shell. This is from the where's this from? Samar. This is from the Philippines. This one here. It's richer color inside. It has these stripes here. But it's your traditional Triton, you know, the god Triton, underwater, god of the underworld. So what others we have here? Yeah, we've done those. Yes, okay. There's this one. I don't really have that many. A murex. It's called a murex. It's very spiky. Yeah. And typically I don't usually do these. I have one here just to show you.
Yeah.
Down here is also an ancient shell from Tibet. It's a horse shell. It's very old, and I've had it a long time. It's covered in carbon from the fire, I think, some kind of tar. You know, it's quite special. That this is also from Tibet.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Yeah, this is a spider conch. It's got tar on it, and it's very high pitch.
Wow. Alessandra was just saying that the elders in Mexico say it's important every now and then to put your conch back in the water.
Oh, good. Yeah. Well.
If not living by water, you know, see just a natural source of water every now and then. This is something that was transmitted to her by some elders she was working with. Don, just looking at the shells there, and something Aidan said, which I found very interesting, about even the smaller shells, the ratio is perfect, you know, in relation to the larger shells, which, you know, made me think again of pi and phi and Fibonacci and the golden ratio, and just, you know, how the shell grows in line with that pure maths of the spiral, the Fibonacci. That kind of connects again with some of the work that you do with the pi and the phi and the gong.
Oh, yes, it has a relationship because we do use the ratio of phi, which is the golden ratio, which is a perfect ratio. And that is how the conchs grow, and in fact, how we grow as well. Our different limbs are in phi ratio. So phi is a very important thing. I might just throw this in here because I have another question for Aidan. Is that we are going to be playing together on May 7th, and we haven't talked about it yet. This is a good opportunity that we might have a conch blowing at exactly the time of the Wesak ceremony with all of our conch players around the world, because mostly now all the gong players are conch masters as well. So I was, it just reminded me that perhaps we should consider that on that date when we do the Around the World celebration, at the same time, it'll be at the same time all around the world, not at different times. And Aidan can teach us, lead us in a conch ceremony that we can do at the beginning of it.
That would be amazing.
If each person could blow in the 4 directions, that would be the thing to do.
But it may be what we can do between now and then. We'll have some further classes on it, whereas I don't have my conch with me right now. But if we all show
shame on you, Don.
We could do the traditional conch choir. So maybe next time, Aidan.
Yeah, next time.
So Aidan and Don, this question is for both of you. So if we're going to choose a couple of conchs to use in healing, what type of conch would we choose? How would we pitch them? You know, you want to talk a little bit about that?
Well,
they're organic, aren't they? You can't. They usually don't come with a straight up C or a straight up this.
There one or two do, but sometimes there's a little bit one side or the other. You never know what it's going to sound like until you cut the end off.
Yeah.
And then I put a tuner on it and get the note.
So if someone were going to get 2 conchs in, you know, to use up and down the body to get that lovely, the lovely harmonic that we get, how would they go about that? Would they go into the shop or try and find a conch and take their little app on their phone and find the pitch to get 2, you know?
You want them to be slightly different. One tone to be slightly different. Then you get that binaural beat that happens when you make 2 sounds that are so close together. So that would be one thing. Everybody's welcome to come to my conch shed after this is over.
Pilgrimage.
Ideally, you could choose your own conch then, because it's a very personal thing. Whoops.
You have, it's the best of the best, Aidan, is to go, if you went to Aidan's shed and you tried each of these conchs, one of them is going to speak to you. It may not be the lightest one, of course, or the biggest.
And it may not be the prettiest one.
No, it's going to be one that there's a personal, it's like, I say, when Aidan teaches you how to blow the conch, it's just exactly like if you kissed your grandmother. You know,
we say that.
Or
if you
that is. So it's a very interesting relationship between you and the conch.
And also the way to blow, which is this creating that noise. Remember when you were a kid and your mother or your father went to put on your neck and went and gave you a kind of a raspberry. It's a bit like that.
You know, you know, he can play out of both sides of his mouth at one time.
Well, I can play 2, like these. This one. This is this one and this one. These 2. Do you hear the binaural kind of sound there? But these are 2 small ones. The other people like Steve Terrell, he can blow like 4 at the same time, can't he? He's a famous conch blower. Your friend Steve Terrell.
Oh yes.
He's amazing.
Oh yes.
He's a jazz musician, and he uses the conch shell.
Your friend too, who I think he lives in.
Yes, John Birdsong.
Right.
He has a whole band, 5 people. They only play conch shells, called the Spiral Consort, and they're in Belgium. And he's a wonderful trumpet player, and he can really make the conch sound like a trumpet, get many, many notes.
What country are they in?
Belgium. So the one note that you get is the basic note, which is low. But if you tighten your lips and blow a little stronger, you can bring out the high note. John can get lots of notes out because he's a trumpet player, and he tells me I've got to practice at least 10 minutes a day, which sometimes I'm not that good at, but I need to develop my musicianship with regards to the conch shell. That's something.
Yeah, it's very nice.
Now, some of them, when you get them, I know it's. I have one that I just don't use because it smells so bad.
Yeah.
You should pick one up, Aidan. Do you have any that really have a bad odor? And
you wouldn't know. No, I don't, because when I get them, come in the post or whatever, I buy at the charity shop, the first thing I do, I put a little tiny drop or two of bleach in it, and then I submerge it in water, because oftentimes there's a little piece of the animal still left inside, and that's what smells.
Oh.
So, and then when I start making them, they sit in water outside, usually for about a week before I start making them. And then once I cut the end, oh, look who's there, it's Martin. Then when I cut the end off it, it goes in the water again so that it's completely clean and disinfected inside.
Hmm.
So,
And then I put them on the wall outside in my garden, lots of them, and they stay under the moonlight at least one full moon.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, well, that's just
that's-
my thing. I figure it needs to be in the moon at least once. The full moon.
That's lovely.
You're doing a great service to us all who are looking for proper conchs to blow in our gong ceremonies and the other ceremonies that we do. And there are, of course, many different tricks in playing the gong too, that the more that you learn, you can do what we call conch talk. And,
Yes.
And we can begin to use them as a means of communication.
Yeah, across great distances. And of course, it's used by the fishermen when it's foggy and they have no lights. They blow the conch every 5 seconds so that to warn anybody who's close by.
You know, there was this guy in Central Park who had a conch club here in New York City. I forgot his name. And they set a Guinness Book of Records for the most conchs blowing, and they all got in Central Park one day. And they blew, I think, 108 of them blowing the conch. Oh, look who's here.
Yeah, it's Martin.
Martin's here. Welcome, Martin. So we might think about doing
Morning, gentlemen.
conchs around the world.
Morning, Martin.
Are you
Morning,
awake?
morning, Bob. How are you doing?
Hello.
Good, thanks.
All right.
Hi, Leela.
Hey, hey, Don.
How are you?
Hey, Aidan.
Nice to see you.
What
Nice
time
to
is
see
it?
you too.
What time is it there?
Samba time, 11:09.
Oh, nice. Perfect.
Everything good?
All
You're
good.
looking well. You're looking very well. Nice to see you well.
Yeah,
Yes.
they play conch as well, you know.
Well, yeah, we've been known to.
Yeah.
If you ask her nicely, she'll fetch. Fetch yours. Where's
What?
yours? Conch, the big one.
My card is.
She's going to fetch it.
All right.
Okay.
Even though it's spelt conch, it's pronounced conch.
No need for that at this time of the morning.
What did you say? What did you say?
Live and learn. Live and learn.
Yeah, well,
That's it. This is
I learn something new
Show
every
it.
day.
Show it.
There you go, Aidan.
This is my card.
So,
Cut it.
what kind? What kind is that?
Well, it's a big Triton.
No.
That's a syrinx.
Not a Triton. It's one of them things at the back from Australia.
That's right. It's the Australian
Yes.
syrinx. Yeah.
Syrinx, that's it. I
Yeah.
cut it by hand, if you remember, in Brazil with with that little blade when we did the course in Brazil.
Well, it's a lot of work, isn't it?
2 days and blisters.
Right, guys, I'm going to have to get us back on track.
Sorry.
Okay.
That's okay. That's all right. No problem. Right, Aidan, you said you wanted to go up into another room, I believe.
Well, my therapy room's upstairs.
Do you want to make that journey, and Don and I will just chat for a second while you get up there?
Yeah.
Is there anything else you want to talk to us about in the shed?
Yeah, there was one thing I wanted to say. What was it now? Oh, yes. Yesterday, because I was doing this thing on Zoom, I thought, well, I'll start a Facebook page called Sounding Shells.
Okay.
And I just opened it last night. And
Okay.
if anybody's interested in shells, they can go on there, and I'll share pictures, and I'll share literature and books and PDFs and some nice shots of these shells and other shells too. Some of them are worth thousands, are in museums, but I hope it's going to be an interesting page for people to visit.
Perfect. I think we'll all join that.
Sounding Shells, it's called.
On Facebook. Right.
Yeah. So
Well,
I'll go now.
Yeah.
Upstairs.
What's your step?
Yeah.
Okay.
See you in a second.
See you in a second.
Okay. All right. So Don, we've looked at the shells in a practical level. Just talk to us a little bit about them as a healing tool. Why they're so...
The shells, of course, are, we call them exorcism instruments. In other words, they remove blockages that are not supposed to be there. And they've been used that way for many, many years. The reason for that, I believe, is because what comes out of the horn is, of course, sound as we know it, but there's an etheric ray that goes with it called the sonal ray that comes through. And many, many times, usually if I do anybody working with the gong on the couch, let's say, to give them a treatment, I always try to, if I can, to blow the conch into the solar plexus area, at least in the solar plexus area. And that what that does is it takes any of the residual, we call it in healing, miasma, that is left in the aura of the person, that it has a way of clearing the way. So this is the power of the conch. And especially if you have another partner who's got a conch that you can modulate with your hands so that they do produce a wah-wah sound, a brainwave sound between them. Then the conchs reach another level of healing, which is that you can focus them on any part of the body, one person in the front and one in the back, and can direct that sonal ray to anywhere in or on the body, and it will use holistic resonance in order to shake loose anything that's embedded in the what we call the astral or the part of that body. So we use them in holistic sound healing in a specific. It's a space clearing if you blow it in the room, and then if you blow it into the body, it clears out the spaces in the body.
I remember often you'll say that the conch is the most healing tool that we have in our arsenal, alongside the gong.
Yes, and also, of course, we say it's also a self-defense thing too.
Yeah,
the conch
especially
for self-defense. So those spiky ones really have a good purpose, but normally we use them to bail out water when the boats get flooded. We use them at specific times on the lake or the ocean. It'd be early morning or in the evening where the sound travels lowest over the waters for communication at a distance. They have so many wonderful, and of course, the traditional way is if you had a child, they would put the conch up to their ear and listen to what is called the voice of Shiva, or the that little whisper sound of, we call it of the guru within. You can hear inside of your conch. So there are many different meditations that you could do with it as well.
Yeah, and considering how portable it is, if you're ever doing a gong bath or you're going to open ceremony somewhere, a wedding, as a gong player, which we often get asked to do, it's a lovely thing to take along for part of that process. So everyone should have one, really.
Well, he's getting, is he ready yet?
He's ready. I can see him. There he is.
All right, great.
How are you doing, Aidan?
I'm good.
We can see you again now. You look lovely there.
Thank you. Over my left shoulder is the largest conch shell, the largest gastropod in the world. It's called the Australian syrinx over here. And I'll show you that.
Wow.
This is the Australian syrinx. It's such a beautiful shell. You can talk into it and it echoes so lovely.
You sound like Darth Vader.
Yeah. I didn't want to cut the end. And this as an alternative. You can cut a hole in the side of the shell. And many cultures, ancient cultures, used to do this, cut the shell in the side. And this one...
I don't recommend it for the healers because you're limited to where the mouth of the conch is going to point.
Well, yes, you have to do it in such a way as you can, the bell, this part of the shell is facing the right way when you blow it. But I don't know if I have to limber up for this. It's very heavy.
Wow.
It's very, very low.
It sounds like a foghorn.
Extremely heavy. Yeah, it sounds like the Queen Mary. And this shell is an ancient shell from Peru. They're very rare. You see this one here? It's a very rare shell. It's very heavy also. You can't find them very easily, but it's a very sharp, clear shell. As is this one here. You'll recognize this one is the chunka from India. This is a very heavy white shell. Very heavy. This one has a little engraving on it, but it's quite high.
Very powerful sound, that.
The chunka is really one of the strongest of all the shells.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what the anatomically why, but it's very, very loud. And then this one here, this is a Strombus giganticus. This one here, it's got this huge kind of foot, the foot here. It's very large and it's quite a rare shell. I got this from a friend in Italy called Ernesto who sells shells. And this has a lovely sound. You have to be careful because this end here is quite high. My gong, do you hear my gong?
Not quite.
Gong is here.
Wow. So, I see you have a lot of bowls there, Aidan.
There are quite a few bowls here at the moment.
Yeah.
I don't know what you can see, but over here on my right are my oldest collection, the ones I bring to the workshop for everybody to play and use in the sessions we do, in the one-to-one sessions. On the left here, I have some others here, which I'm going through at the moment, and I'm putting a frequency and a note on each one, and then creating sets of them.
Wow.
I have a low one here, a nice low, This is 59 hertz. So this is one of the lowest I have, and this is from Manipuri bowl.
Oh, nice.
Has a nice frequency, very low. I don't know whether the sound comes across on the computer, but
We can hear it.
yeah, it's a lovely shell. It's a lovely bowl. And if you're in California and you go to the beach, you can get one of these, which is a piece of kelp. Kelp is that long seaweed that you get from the water. It's usually got a ball on the end with roots. And this is Kelp Horn. It's one of the oldest things that people used to use. I cut the end off here. I took it from the beach in California. I have 2 of them, and this is like this. Let me see. And this is very light. It's like gourd. It's like a gourd, dried out gourd. And you can get this for free off the beach if you. It has to dry. You hang it on a nail for a couple of months until it's completely dry, and then you can use it as a trumpet.
Yeah.
I think Aidan has some really small ones too, like the little sea worms. I forget what they're called. The little ones are they sea worms or something like that? That they're not quite as big as that. They're little to blow.
I'm not sure what you mean, Don.
They're a little, maybe that long here, and you could blow them like that.
Well, I showed you that little one downstairs. I do have this, which is a conch shell equivalent. This is from New Zealand. It's a Maori instrument. It has a blowhole in the center, and you play it just like a conch shell. It's kind of a plaintive sound. But it's nice. It's engraved, carved Maori instrument. And there's African side blowing horns, which are, some of them are cow horns, which have a hole in the side here, and you blow and you put your finger on the end. I have a few of those, but I don't have them here. I looked for them before, but I don't have them.
So which is your favourite bowl, Aidan?
My favourite bowl would be this one.
Let's have a look.
Where is it? That's that. Wait a minute. It's one I've had. It's probably one of the oldest. I've had it longer than any other bowl, perhaps. It's this one here.
Wow.
This is very heavy.
Yeah.
Extremely heavy, and it's got an engraving that somebody told me means cosmic rays of the lion. Cosmic rays of the lion. Let's see. Do I have a one? That's the question.
One of your Aspen ones somewhere.
Yeah, I have. I have indeed. All I can find is this one.
Okay.
This one. But this bowl, it sounds, just to look at it. I'll try it here. This is covered in felt, so it'll bring out the low sound. That's not very successful, is it?
It's probably a bit small.
It is too small.
Yeah. Don.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, again, the bowl is a big part of working with sound.
This is Hollywood. No, lemon wood. I'm hardly touching the bowl. Very lightly.
Oh, we might as well, while we have Aidan on here, is that maybe also, he is also the main source of a rare wood that you use for the bowls.
Yes.
Almost all bowl players now have one of Aidan's wands.
That's right.
Got one there? They're called aspen wands. They only grow, I think, in Aspen, Colorado, although probably there's a tree similar to that in China.
I'm sure everybody knows what they look like, but I'll just get you one to show you.
I'm showing one now, Don and Aidan.
Oh, look, there it is, Aidan. Yeah.
That's
So
the
what
wood.
he does, yeah, he prepares all these. So if you know any bowl players that don't have a wand like this, they're missing a treat, because it's a soft wood. It covers up your mistakes, your techniques pretty well. And you don't hear the shrim noise. The shrim is a mantra in Sanskrit. And the shrim is usually, when we played the bowls, is kind of like a miss-hit. You see, we don't intend to get ahead of the sound current or the going around the bowl. But the shrim is also a healing mantric sound, so it can be used in different ways.
That's nice, Jill. So that's one of the aspen ones that Aidan makes. I don't suppose Aidan's got
a wonderful one
about, actually. I know he was having trouble getting the wood to make some more. I've got a few, and they are fantastic things. Here he is.
It's a white, lightweight wood. These are just got them. I buy a box every year, get them from New Mexico. These need to be cut, but it's one of the best woods to play the bowl with. It's very soft. There's Jill, she's got one. It's very soft and very forgiving.
It's nice. Okay.
Okay,
so
here's the book I suggest you download the PDF for.
Okay.
That one.
I just read it. It's great.
I printed it. It's in it's 214 pages. It's not very expensive. You get it spiral bound. You can open it up and read it in bed.
So we've literally got a minute left. We have to wrap up, Aidan.
Yeah.
Anything you'd like to leave us with? And I mean, I'd like to say, oh, look, there we go. Martin's got a load as well.
Got 10.
He's got 10.
Oh, he's got 10.
Brilliant. Look, he's got a bag full, Aidan.
All right. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
perfect.
He really lucked out, because they're as rare as hen's teeth.
Yeah, it's
So
lovely.
how much time we have left?
We've got. We're done actually. We're at the end of our time.
Oh my God! Oh, too soon.
I know.
But next time, can we get back together, Aidan, at another time?
Yeah.
Everybody bring their conch shells to the next one,
Yeah.
and then we'll have a group conch lesson, and maybe begin to prepare for this. Was it May 7th coming up?
Yes, the puja.
Yeah, the conchs around the world.
I'm thinking what we should do, Don, is bring Aidan back to do one specifically on bowls.
Yes.
Okay.
That would be great, because there's so much information that he's tried to give us in such a short amount of time, and actually the subjects are so big, Aidan. It's such a huge challenge. So really, I think let's unmute everybody, Linz. I'm sure everyone would like to say thank
He
you.
likes to close out the show, Bob, with his J. Arthur rank.
I can do that. Don't worry, we're all just going to say bye, and Aidan's going to see us out with the day after rank gong.
Out with the gong. This is the 50-inch universe gong.
Jake.
Who's that guy? Hi.
That's great. Thanks for blowing that conference.
You need a lot more.
Morgan.
Bellissimo.